Hi, I'm Tom Delk. I'm chaplain at Normandy Farms Estates, which is just north of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In general, my extended family manages to get along well across the generational divides. The biggest generational arguments we have are related to who messes with grandma's computer or phone. Now, next month, though, we're planning on a 10-day intergenerational international trip together. And we've got boomers, and we've got Gen Xers, and a millennial, and a Gen Z in the party. Things are going to get interesting. Now, living and working in the space between generations, which is what I do as a chaplain here in this community, is both fascinating and challenging. It's not the differences between the generations, however, but the similarities that are most intriguing. It's not the particulars of taste or structure or even values. It's the relationship between the different and the unexpected with change. Each generation seems to expect others to be on the same page with them, at least eventually to learn to dance to their tune. That others should like what they like and have the ability to see things like they do. After all, it's self-evident, right? Now, I remember back in the 1960s and 70s, generational conflict had become really intense, and the British rock group, The Who, gave us a song called Talking About My Generation. And lead singer Roger Daltrey sang it mimicking an amphetamine-induced stutter, my generation, making it more scandalous than it already was. And don't forget that line, I hope I die before I get old. That was really warm and friendly, wasn't it? Around that same time, a free speech activist named Jack Weinberg said this, never trust anyone over 30. I hardly know anyone over 30, under 30. Ideas about race, sexuality, religion, politics, and basic core values were changing in those days at lightning speed. It was a high magnitude cultural earthquake. There was a lot of misunderstanding and a lot of rancor. And big changes like that can make it feel like you're a foreigner in your own hometown. Now, travel back in time to the 030s of our common area, around 30 AD. There was another revolution going on. Two young men had shown up on the scene, John the Baptist and then Jesus. And they talked about a new kingdom where the greatest would be the servants of all, enemies would be loved, the meek would inherit the earth, prodigal children would come home, and entrance into this kingdom would require becoming like a little child, and peacemakers would be called the sons of God. That moniker, sons of God, was formerly used just for ruthless, conquering kings and emperors. This revolution that they talked about threatened to turn everything on its head. Still does, by the way. Now, in the middle of this revolution, when opposition to it started to get traction, Jesus reflected on the situation. And this is what he said about it in the 11th chapter of Matthew's Gospel. He says, "To what can I compare this generation? They are like children sitting in the marketplaces and calling out to others, 'We played the pipe for you, and you did not dance. We sang a dirge, and you did not mourn.'" In other words, Jesus was saying, we didn't play your game. We didn't follow your playbook. You obviously had a different kind of future in mind. It was one where you called the shots and the changes all fit your notion of the next step. Now, this adventure that my family and I are going on is going to be a lesson in listening with interest and curiosity. And yes, a lesson in humility. There are as many ideas of how to approach this trip as there are individuals on the journey. All of us who have the thinking that our ideas, our way of doing things is, well, it's self-evident. Now, as we journey together as a community, this time in our lives, may we be encouraged to listen with curiosity, to communicate openly, and to enter into our common endeavors with a gracious humility. I'm yours for the journey. Have a great day.